Hi, and welcome back to the Knitcast. This is episode 3. Well, gosh, it's been certainly a long time since I've talked to you guys, and I apologize if this is a little rough. First of all, I'm a new Knitcaster, but also I took a very long break from the end of February until July 1st, which is today. You can find me as Skanix Knits on Instagram and Skanix on Ravelry. I do not have a Ravelry group yet, part of that being in that, again, I've taken such a long break. Let's go ahead and jump into finished objects, and we can talk more about kind of what's been going on with me over the last few months toward the end of the episode. I have 3 finished objects for you today. The first is my husband's flax light sweater. You'll remember that I was knitting this out of Knit Pick Stroll Tweed. Let's see if I can get the whole thing on there for you. So I knit him the extra large, and he absolutely loves this sweater. Because it's July right now, it is too hot for him to wear. I did do the garter panel detail down the sleeve, and then we were able to block it out so the sleeves were just a little bit longer, and also the body was a little bit longer. He did want it longer than the pattern called for. So I knit a little bit more, and then when we blocked it, we stretched it a little bit. As I said, he does absolutely love this sweater. He wants to wear it all the time, and as he's been waiting for me to get this episode up, he keeps saying, am I ever going to get my sweater back? I really would like to get my sweater back, but again, it's a little hot for him to wear right now. So he'll get it back, but probably won't wear it for a while. My next finished object is the Marled Mania leggings by Stephen West. These are a scrappy project, so I debated which section I was going to put them in. Basically what I did is I just took scrap yarn or yarn that I didn't quite have enough to make another project out of, or for example, this purple up here on the very top. Let's see if I can turn that into the light a little bit. This is a microfiber fingering weight yarn that I purchased to make socks out of, and I have made socks out of it, but it doesn't give very much. It's not, there's no nylon in it. It's 100% nylon, or excuse me, 100% microfiber yarn. And so once you wear the socks, they don't really, there's not a whole lot of stretch to them, and either they get too tight because I knit them tighter so that they fit, or they're too big and they stay too big because again, there's no nylon to give it kind of that bounce. We'll see how it works in these leggings. Because they're marled, the yarn that it's paired with does have nylon in it, so hopefully that will help with the stretch. So all of this is kind of random yarn stash, quite a bit of Premier yarns. There's some Deborah Norville sock. There's some Cascade. This is a Cascade Heritage Prints that I made socks out of last year. This is a cotton yarn that just was bright and fun. I have some leftovers that I put in my cozy memory blanket, and then just said I don't know what I'm going to do with this. My cuff is not out, so let's do that. So again, just kind of crazy and fun. This I know is there's some hedgehog fibers in here. There's some Crystal Skies hand dyed. If you watch Hurley's Handmade, I believe is the podcast name. So that's Crystal Skies is from there. Sorry, let me show you the other leg, because they are not the same, except for the cuffs. And again, the cuff is not cooperating. So overall, I really enjoyed this pattern. However, I did miscalculate on the length of my leg, so I probably need to do some more research on how to measure an inseam, because I thought in order to get down to the number of stitches I needed for the ankle that I needed to do a decrease every 5 rounds. So that's what I did, and I had light bulb stitch markers on it, and I did really good keeping them even. But then about the time I got to the middle of my ankle, or the middle of my calf, which was about right here, I realized There was no way I was gonna get down to this small in enough time. And at that point I thought, oh my goodness, I don't even want to rip this back. I don't want to figure out what I've done. I mean, I basically just did a magic knot, so it probably wouldn't have been too bad, but I did not want to knit any more than I had to. Plus, I was trying to get these into the Stephen West Cal by Cozy Up knits, or Cozy Up with the Stitchin' Sisters if you haven't seen their rebranding. And I was trying so hard, and I was like, no, I can't go back, no, I can't go back. I have to get this done. And I didn't make it. I finished it 2 days late. Actually, the day they drew, no, it was 2 days after they drew. I was hoping. Anyway, I didn't get it in, but I did get them done. So my decreases right here, let me pull this up. So I basically was doing a decrease like every other round. It's kind of hard to see. So if you'll notice, my leg is like gracefully changing, and then whoosh. I also made them a little bit big, so when I put them on, they fall down. I do need to still create the, there's little holes. Let's see if I could show this to you. So there's little holes right here, you can see the yarn overs, to add kind of a tie. So that will help, but even the legs are a little bit big on these. So I'm gonna do a little research and see if there's a way that I can sew them and reinforce them from the ankle up, and I'll keep you posted on that. I've read a few that have shown me about sweaters, but again, I don't know, we'll see. Just keeping it going. I also finished my daughter's sweater, except for the ends. Of course, I haven't woven in the ends yet, because again, it's too warm for her to wear this beautiful colorwork sweater. This is the Sunset Highway Mini, and it is a combination of Malabrigo, and I do not think I have all the colors, but let me look. Nope, I don't. And then I did, for the colorwork, this is shepherd's wool in the colorway Crazy, and so it is almost a self-striping, kind of a variegated colorway, but this is what she chose. These were her colors that she chose. So this one is kind of a purple. I did not alternate skeins, which I know I should have, and I actually didn't notice until the very end that it has kind of a pooling effect. I didn't notice it until it was blocking. So you can kind of see on the chest here, let's see. So it's right in this area, just below the colorwork, that you can see it. And then I added 6 rows of Crazy here for the little detail on the sleeve. And then the last, really the only change that I did was to add thumb holes for her. So anyway, so here's the cuff, and then she has a little thumb hole, and I will insert a picture here of her wearing it so you can see that a little better. She asked me for days and days. The other thing I'll insert a picture of, my color work was super bumpy, so it felt like it was gathered too much in here, but when I blocked it out, it flattened out really nicely, as you can see. For this I used a US 5. This will probably be the last video that I give you. Well, I will give you the size of my needle, but I saw in one of Skander's episodes, it's been a couple of episodes now, 70, 71 maybe, she talks about that there's no reason to give people needle sizes because ultimately it depends on your gauge. So if you give them the gauge you knit at, or say, you know, I got gauge for the pattern using this needle size, then that's better than just saying, you know, I knit my socks on a US 1.5 or whatever, because not everybody knits the same. Everyone's gauge, I mean, the gauge that I get on those particular needles may not be the gauge that you get on those needles. So anyway, what she said made a lot of sense to me. And so from now on, after this episode, I will be giving you my gauge information. The last I think I told you I had 4 finished objects, or 3 finished objects. I actually have 6. What was I thinking? Okay, these were my March socks. I'll go through these fairly quickly just because, again, they're quite a while ago. So this is the Felici Cheshire Grain colorway. This is not one of the colorways that they just released. It's an older colorway. And then this is Stroll Glimmer on the toe in the Foxglove colorway. And then this sock was really fun. This is part of the Cozy collection by Mina Phillip. And it just has these welts here on the leg. And you could do them just on the front or all the way around on the leg. And I had never done welts before, so I thought that was really fun. And then I always do shorty socks because it's just what I wear. It's what I prefer. And there is a second sock, but because I have so many socks to show you, I don't have enough blockers to put all of the socks on. The next sock I have to show you, this is the Derive socks, also by Mina Phillip. This is part of her Wanderlust sock collection, so I am doing both sock collections this year that she has. This particular sock is done in Hippo for St. Patrick's Day 2018, and this is a lace pattern to this sock, the texture, and again I added the texture on the back as well. Wedge toe. I have been doing a fish lips kiss heel as opposed to the German short row heel just because I find that I end up with gaps in my heel if I do the German short row heel and I don't with the fish lips kiss heel. So I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because I haven't done a German short row heel, but that's what I found. Again, second sock, so I do have a pair. All right, last finished object. This is the Nestled socks, also from the Wanderlust Sock Club. This is a kind of a little cable pattern that you do on this sock. I apologize for the dog hair. Again, these have been waiting. I haven't even been wearing these because they've been waiting. Again, wedge toe. I do really like this little detail here where you do kind of a purl ridge to separate the cuff. I really like that. Also, sock blockers. These are by Knitting Left. I did not do custom blockers from her yet, but it's on my wish list. So we'll see. And again, second sock completed for that. Moving into whips. I will just start with my 2 sock whips that I have since we're already talking about socks. The first whip I have is actually a hoe, and it is the Shine Bright sock pattern by Lady Wing Designs. If you have not seen Zakia's podcast, you need to check it out. She has 2 patterns out as well. This one, I believe, has been released now. Maybe not quite. I think test knitters were done. This is a test knit that I did for her. It's probably not quite released yet, now that I think about it. Being that test knitters had to finish by June 30th, which was yesterday. So this pattern should be released soon, and then, but she does have a shawl pattern released on her page. So this has a lovely diamond pattern. So there's a textured diamond and then a lace diamond. I will take this off in just a moment and show you. This was the Hippo from Mardi Gras 2018 colorway. And then there's those diamond patterns. If you look at the hashtag LD Shine Bright Socks, you can find multiple photos of this sock. And then I also like this, it has a twisted rib cuff. Let's see if that will focus. There we go. So twisted rib cuff, which I had never done before. I really, really like the way that looks. So there's the completed one, and then I am just over halfway done with the foot on this one. So again, wedge toe on that. I did do she does a German short row heel. I'm knitting this on 9-inch circulars, and I knit all of my socks on a US 1.5. In general, that US 1.5 gives me a gauge of 8 stitches per inch. With the 9-inch circular, I'm closer to 9 stitches per inch, which was the gauge for this particular pattern. Here is the yarn in the cake. So it's got greens and purples and golds, little pops of pink, and it is beautiful. I have absolutely loved knitting with the hippo colors this year, and I have most of them. I do not have hippo for 4th yet, but I need to get it soon because the 4th is in a couple days. Last sock whip, I tried something a little different on this one. So I did a rounded toe instead of the wedge toe that I have been doing. Let's see if I can get that. Because this was the first time I had done this, I actually miscalculated how many increases I needed to do. So I ended up having to go back a little bit because I had done too many increases and had too many stitches. So I had to go back a little bit. But that's okay. Trial and error. It's the way it goes. And then this is the Vagary socks. Again by Mina Phillip. This is part of the, now I don't remember which sock club it is. I will make sure it gets up here somewhere. It's a textured pattern. I just barely started the textured pattern because I've just finished the toe. I am knitting these 2 at a time. Gauge on these is going to be, again, 8 stitches per inch. And 11 rows, should be 8 stitches and 11 rows, which is what the pattern calls for on 64 stitches. I'm doing them on a Knit Picks fixed circular 32-inch US 1.5. This is hippo for Valentine's Day, which I didn't get to in Valentine's Day. But there it is in the cake. You can see reds and purples and pinks. Again, super fun. Hope that most of my socks or all of my socks this year will either be hippo or Yeti colorways. Moving on to other things that we have. I also was a test knitter for the Alberta Rose by Cozy Up Knits, the Alberta Rose wrap. I unfortunately am a terrible test knitter for this one. I did not get very far. Oh, I totally forgot to talk about my bags. I'll show you in just a second. So I didn't get very far with this. I am using my grandmother's knitting needles. They are boy fixed circulars. I should go get I should have brought down the little pouch that they came in. Anyway, so these are her knitting needles that I inherited when she passed away because I'm the only one in my family that knits. But this is my problem. I am knitting a lace pattern, and this particular needle set is not, like, there's one, so there's the needle tips, and they are just not very sharp and pointy for lace. So I would get my repeat done, and I would just be frustrated, and I'd put it away, and I'd think, oh, I need to work on this because it's test knit, and I'm supposed to be working on it, and I just kept getting super, super frustrated with it. And so I haven't been working on it as much as I should. I know the pattern was just released. I did give input on the pattern after reading it and things like that. But again, I was not a great test knitter this time just because I was fighting with my needles the entire time. So this is what I have so far of the pattern. So it starts kind of at a point down here, and then you work your way up, and there are several different lace sections. I can stretch that out a little bit. So you have kind of this floral, and then you have this kind of column, and then you have some diagonal. And I do have one wonky part in my diagonal, but I wasn't going back because I was trying to help. This color is an Artistic Lily colorway called City Girl, and this is on her top drawer alpaca base. Where's my bag? Hold on, I have a tag. Good podcaster, sometimes. Okay, so this is her tag. Artistic Lily. And there we go, City Girl. Top drawer alpaca fingering. And it's 437 yards. And it is a 20-60-20, so 20 superfine alpaca, 60% superwash merino, and 20% nylon. I have never used alpaca, so this is pretty exciting for me. I really like the slight halo that it's giving to this wrap, and it is so squishy and soft. So I absolutely love that. Let's show you my bag now. So this is my bag that I had to get because it's like the Stitch and Sisters, the Cozy Up Knits bag from Cherry Pie Cottage. So it has a Coffee Diva on the outside. It is not exactly identical to theirs. They have the coffee bean handle, and I have this cute handle that matches the inside. There's my pattern. Sorry, the inside says, "Today's Good News brought to you by coffee." And I absolutely love this bag, but I have a slight problem. My dogs, I have 2 Cherry Pie Cottage bags, and my dogs keep chewing the Cherry Pie Cottage tag off of them. Just makes me angry. Stinking dogs. Oh, I also have this little stitch marker, my Mocha Frappuccino, also by Cherry Pie Cottage. And I absolutely love it. I will say, Jenny and Jared do the cutest thing. So Jenny owns the shop, but I had to keep this together because this is how my invoice came. Is that not the cutest thing? That they sent it to me origamied into a heart. Origamied, that's a word, right? No, not really. And then here's her card, Cherry Pie Cottage, and she has an Etsy shop. And she also has a Knitcast with her husband, Jared, and they are so funny. They're from Texas and very proud of being from Texas, which, Jenny and Jared, if you watch this, I just have to say, my friend from Texas, she lives in Dallas, brought me beaver nuggets, and they are amazing. And I need a Buc-ee's in Utah. Just need one. The other bags that I have for my socks, this is by QVS Not For Profit. She's out of the UK, Denise. She does these custom embroidered bags for all the house elves, and she has a couple of other ones. Master gave Dobby a sock, and some other things that she does. And then this is my other Cherry Pie Cottage bag. It is called All the Cokes, because all soda is called Coke in Texas. And then the liner fabric as well as the handle is this Coke bottle fabric. So, and again, stinking dogs chewed off my tag. So I need to work on that. Sweater mojo is a thing, right? My next work in progress is my Zweig sweater by Caitlin Hunter or Boyland Networks. Here's where I'm at. I am about, I believe, 4 rows from splitting for the sleeves. The yarn that I am using, Dragon Horde yarn. This was a kit that I bought from her. So this top color is called Bramble, and then this pink is Folklore. I absolutely love this pattern. I'm really looking forward to getting into the cables, the little X cables for that. And this one I actually was smart, and I am alternating skeins because, especially because, as we know with indie dyed yarn, here are the 2 cakes. Hopefully the lighting is good enough you can see. This one is substantially darker than this one. I have 3 cakes that look about like this as far as how dark they are, and I have this one really light one. Not that I mind, because it's beautiful, and mixing them together is making this gorgeous sweater. But I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna add a 3rd skein, so another dark skein in after I split for the sleeves, and then I will get this in every 3rd row, just so it blends a little better, and hopefully I'll have some of this left over for the sleeves. I have this in, I believe this bag is from Fate's Thread. I won this in a giveaway by Lucky Jenny Knits last year. But it's super cute drawstring bag. It is getting a little small for my project, but you know, you use what you have. And because I'm knitting all the sweaters, I don't have very many sweater size bags. Something I need to remedy. All right, next work in progress is my Shui Shrug, I believe that's how you say it, by Suzanne Summer, which is Sosu Designs. Wow, I'm forgetting all of the things. Anyway, it's by Suzanne Summer. There were, I think in March, there were about 4 or 5 podcasters that were doing a knit along together, kind of as far as you can get. And so I was like, I've never done brioche before, sure, let's try it. So this is as far as I've gotten, and my colors are Malabrigo Machita in the Atomic colorway, and the other one is Cascade 220 Sock, and I don't know what the colorway is because it's a number and I don't remember. So there you can see the silver is the Cascade, and then this red on this side that you can see a little better is the Malabrigo. I'm not super far in this. I think I have something like 10 or 15 more repeats before I can split for the sleeves. Here are the colors in the cake. I did post this on Instagram a while ago, but I had to rewind this cake into a ball because it was falling apart. So I don't know what happened when the cake got wound at the store. The store did let me wind it myself because they were a little bit busy, and I just said, is it okay if I just wind this so I don't have to wait? And she said, oh, sure. So no fault of the store. Definitely my fault. So it was falling apart. So I just wound it by hand, spent an afternoon doing that. And then my Cascade 220, I don't know what I did because I wound all of this on their winder. Fell apart, so here's part of it. And here's the other half of the cake. Probably some hand winding in my future, but that's okay. I don't mind. I am knitting this on a US size 8. I did have to go up 2 needle sizes from what the pattern called for because I was not getting gauge. It was too small, and watching the tutorial videos, which if you're doing this pattern and have never done brioche before, fabulous instructions with her videos. I did click on the German one the first time though. So I did find the English one eventually. Chelsea and Kit Kat of the future, coming to show you the wonderful bag that I have my Shui Shrug in. I realized as I was watching this that I forgot to show it to you. So let me pull this beautiful bag up real quick. This was made by my mom as a gift for me. So it has different sheepy fabrics. Those two, and then on the inside it says different things: imagine, dream. What does that one say? Design. It's a long handle bag that she made. I actually have 2 of these. This one has bigger panels on it, and then the other one is a checkerboard pattern between a dark sheep fabric and a light sheep fabric. I'll bring that one on and show it to you next time. But it's just a really deep bag. It's a fabulous bag to be able to take when I go places because it's big enough that I can stick my wallet in there and have enough space. Hopefully the next time that we Knitcast, Miss Kit Kat will be able to show you her progress on her blanket and her washcloth. Do you think so? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to make more progress today.
Yeah, I think she's only put a row on. So we will work on that, huh?
Yep.
That's what happens when summer break happens. I just wanted to show you that because I was super excited to show it to you, and then I completely forgot. Back to Chelsea of the not so distant past. Again, all the sweater mojo, and apparently I have cast on all the things since the last time I podcasted. And then there was today. I went stash diving and I found this Cascade 220 Superwash Sport in color 845. This is the denim colorway. and I had 6 skeins and I needed 10 skeins. And I thought, gosh, if I could just get 4 more skeins, I could make this sweater. I'll have enough, I'll have just a little bit over what I need, so I could participate in this 4-day challenge. What was I thinking? I have 2 sweaters on the needles, I have 2 socks on the needles, I have a wrap, and is what happened. I swatched, and I actually swatched for real for the first time ever, including washing and blocking, because normally if it doesn't tell me I have to wash and block it, I stitch it. I leave, I stitch a little extra so it's on my needles. I kind of pin it and measure it, and then I rip it all back and I go ahead and knit my sweater. Well, it's worked so far, although I will say the Sunset Highway mini is supposed to be a little baggy. My daughter's is skin tight. She loves it that way. That's what she wanted. In fact, she told me, Mom, if you can make the sleeves so that they stay on my arms and they're not baggy like the picture, I would like that better. Okay, I can do that. So she really likes that it's that way, but she is 7 and I knit the size 8, hoping that it would last longer than a year. I'm not sure it's going to, but I'm hopeful. So anyway, I actually swatched for the very first time, like really swatched. So I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I can measure it and hopefully get started. Now, I do not, how do I put this? I don't think that I will finish it in 4 days. However, my goal is to finish it in 4 knitting days. So that's a total of 96 hours, or as close to 96 hours as I can get. Maybe I'll give myself 100 hours, just, give myself that little bit of leeway. But I'd like to finish it as close to 4 days of knitting time as I can, and hopefully I will be able to do that. So I'll keep you posted. I know the cal runs from today through July 15th, and then you can do your 4 days up to, I think they give you up to 8 days to actually finish it. But I'm hoping I'll be recording my knitting time, and every time I sit down to work on it, I'll be recording and trying to keep track of my knitting time. I believe one of the knitting apps that I have on my phone you can actually set a timer, so as you're working on it, then the timer will just run as long as the app is open. And then you can stop it if you take a break or whatever. Last couple of things I want to talk about. I'm just going to point to this one. I'm not going to hold it up. This is my corner to corner for my daughter. I did get about 2.5 rows of pink done on her corner to corner blanket. This is a Plymouth yarn. No, it's not Plymouth yarn. This is Neon's. I don't remember. It's a neon something. I'm doing a corner to corner for my daughter for graduation. I just added this. However, Rosie's head got eaten by the dogs. If you don't remember, this is Rosie skin. I talked about this in one of my previous episodes where my daughter wanted a hippo for Christmas, and I knit her a hippo out of this yarn. That's what she wanted. So this then became the hippo's skin, aka Rosie skin. So Rosie now needs a new head. I did tell my daughter this is the last time I'm re-knitting the head, because I've already re-knit it once, so this will be twice, and I told her not again. Let's talk scrappy projects, which I kind of already started doing, but we'll talk about this one. So this is my corner to corner blanket. Last time I showed it to you, I was on this row here. We did have a problem with the corner to corner where my dogs decided to play tug of war with it. So I have done multiple squares. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 squares to it since I last showed you. I still have a million squares to add. Sorry, we'll go through and show this to you real quick, and then I will talk about the dog tug of war repairs So I really, really super love this quilt, and I have really been trying to, I guess for the most part, put things in order, which is why this square is kind of awkwardly out of place because I'm doing it kind of in a corner to corner fashion. This is the last one from 2017. This is my December socks, and then on this side I finally found my July socks, so I cut those in. And then I have, these are part of my leggings. I wanted to make sure that I was able to get that in there since I only had one skein of this. This would be my warm and snug socks that I showed you. This was my sister shawl, so I have Dog Star Knits in the Lucky Jenny colorway. This is Knitted Wit in the Sassy Santa colorway, and Knit Picks Preciosa in the Sasquatch colorway. I do not believe they carry this color anymore. This was Film Noir in Hedgehog Fibers. That was my test knit for Graceland Wool for her woodsy socks. I did in that one. This was a mini from Yarn Enabler that I added to my pants. I have a bunch of the Swapless Swap bags. I think I have 3 or 4 of them, and so I was winding those up, and then I was like, oh crap, I don't know how much of this it would take to put in my blanket and then to be able to put it in my leggings. So then I knit a square, measured how many grams. I think it took 4 grams. So then with each color that went into my leggings, I was measuring a ball and then putting it in. Added a few more varieties. I really liked how bright her colors were. So I used, I think 2 or 3 different minis from her in there just to add a little variety. Let's talk about tug of war with the dogs. Gosh, I can't even remember. I think I was getting in the shower or something, and all of a sudden I heard the dogs fighting. And I go, or no, I was getting out of the shower, that's what it was. Drying off, whatever. I go running into my bedroom and panic because the dogs have gotten into the bag that has all my minis in it and my blanket and my needles, and my blanket is on the floor. And they are playing tug of war with it. And I panicked. Oh no, this can't be ripped. Some of these colors I don't have anymore. What's gonna happen? This is what I did. There were 4 squares that I had to repair. So this one, and you can tell my stitches are a little bit wonky, but this one I was actually able to, for the most part, pick up the yarn that was already there and be able to fix it. So this is one that I don't have anymore. I put the last of it into my leggings, and right after that happened, that's when the dogs got to it. So I was able to kind of pick it up and fudge it a little bit. So you can't really tell, you can a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. And then this one, I ended up having to attach, so I had to rip it back to about right here. Oh, actually you can see there's my knot right there. I did a magic knot with the same color and was able to repair the rest of that square. So I just had to re-knit this top section here. This square, I actually did a patch on it in a different color. Again, from far away you can't really tell, but if I go to the back, you can see, let's see, I can get that to focus better. So you can see that I've just woven in a light pink mauve-y kind of color right here. Sorry, I shouldn't point with that finger. Oh, right there. So you can see right here where I made that fix. And then this was the last one. And this one, what I did, the hole was so small that I actually was able to just kind of pull the 2 ends where it had ripped, and I just tied them together in a square knot, and I hope that that holds. But we'll see. Major catastrophe averted with this blanket. I still love it, although I need to get back into Scrappy Sunday where I'm dedicating time to it each week. I have been going through some mental health things, and I'm not going to get into the details of what's really been going on, But at the same time, at least some of you as my subscribers are part of my support group. And I figure the more people that kind of know that this is something I struggle with, then the more support that I get behind me. Kind of the basics are that I have anxiety and depression, and even filming this Knitcast has been very challenging to get back to, because to some degree, and I'm sure everyone has this, but to some degree I have this anxiety that no one cares, and that kind of fuels the depression, and it's a big deal. I am getting better, and I hope to continue doing this. I have, for at least right now, I am no longer teaching, and trying a different avenue to see if I can still make things work for my family. So that's kind of why I stopped my Knitcast after only 2 episodes. And again, I really appreciate those of you that have subscribed, and hope that you will continue coming back and supporting me. Even if you don't come back and support me, that's okay too. I realize I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. But I really want to be a part of this community. I want to have knitting friends. I don't really have knitting friends. I mentioned that before. And knitting is something that has really gotten me through a lot of tough times. It's something I do to take care of myself. And I enjoy it. Just the process of knitting and challenging myself. I enjoy the finished objects, and I want things that I can wear more often, and I'm constantly looking for new skills. I have had thoughts of being a designer for probably 6 months to a year, and again, I'm afraid that I'm going to put a pattern out there and no one's going to care, no one's going to buy it, no one's going to be interested in it, and really I just need to get over it, I guess. And that's more challenging for me than for some people, but it is something I'm working on. But this is a huge step for me, to get back into doing this, to challenge myself to be more involved in this community, because really that's what I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off there, and I appreciate you being here with me and chatting with me about my knitting and my passion for all things fibery today. Thank you for subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're a new viewer, please subscribe so that my Knitcast can be shared with other people in this community, and that I may gain some more friends. Enjoy your week, and I hope you get to knit all the things. See you later.